One common question that I would often get, as I'm sure a lot of other instructors get as well, is how do I put together a practice routine? That's what this video is for, man. So I'm gonna help you out. Go grab a beverage, maybe a donut, Timbits if you live in Canada. Come on back and I'll show you how to put together the best practice routine for continued progress. So when you're a new drummer, you're fresh out the gate, the enthusiasm strikes, you want to sit down, start learning the drums. Seriously, man, it's like walking into like a hangar-sized Mandarin buffet. You got all of this stuff in front of you. You have no clue where to start. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips, 5 whole tips on how to craft your own practice routine so you can work it into your own schedule and then take advantage of all the free time that you got so you can get as good as possible, as consistently as possible, so you can feel a lot less lost when you sit down to practice. Let's get into these 5 tips for your practice routine. Number 1, first thing that I want you guys to do is forget about time limits, all right? A lot of drummers want to know, how should I divide my time up? Should I do this for 15 minutes and then jump to this for 15 minutes and blah, blah, blah. I'm not really into that kind of whole thing because here's the thing, man. Like if I tell you to work on double strokes for 15 minutes, you're probably going to work on double strokes for 15 minutes. One valuable tip that I can give you, and I can back this up, man, I guarantee it. Your best time spent on a practice pad is away from the kit altogether. Make sure you have a practice pad, put one on your patio, put one in front of your TV. When you're working on your hands, don't put a limit on that, man. When I was developing my traditional grip, I would spend hours, dang near half a day, just working on basic singles and doubles while I was watching TV. Now, when you have the luxury of time, you can do that. If you don't, if you only have an extra hour a day because you got a job, you got kids, you got whatever going on, then you can just, if you got 45 minutes to practice, if you feel like working on doubles for the whole 45 minutes, do it. You're not really gonna miss out on anything else because everything is gonna add up eventually. Don't rush the process, man. So just sit on your practice pad and just work your doubles for as long as you want to work them. The work that you do on a practice pad is going to accelerate the work that you do on the kit. That's why the more time you spend working on your hands, the better and faster all the rest of this stuff is going to develop. So separate the pad work from the kit, man. Those are 2 different things. But once you put them together again, that's where you're going to start to see some benefit. Now, another good tip that's going to help you tailor a good practice routine on the drums is to almost kind of approach this like working out. Those of y'all that's ever been to the gym or you've ever, done like a 3-month workout program, 6-month workout program, whatever. When you're working out to put on size, your routine is normally split up into different categories or different muscle groups during the week. With the drums, it's the same thing. So instead of thinking about 10 minutes here and 15 minutes here, just dedicate a whole day to something. So one day, you work on a practice pad for however long you want to work on it. The next day, maybe you want to start, developing your coordination. So you might pick, 1 or 2 exercises that involves kick, snare, hats, or kick, snare, ride, and just sit on that and develop it. A lot of what we do on the drums has a lot to do with muscle memory. And the one phrase that I want all you guys to remember and never forget is that repetition fixes everything. So if you want to learn how to do anything on the kit, if you want to get to the point where you can blaze, that's all muscle memory. And the best way to develop that is to just pick one sort of repetitive kind of routine or exercise and do it like 1,000,000 times in a row. So you can pick a groove or, you know, some kind of hand and foot combination that you want to work on. Focus on that, all right? Pick a tempo on your metronome. Start out slow, all right? Because that's probably the most important part of the whole muscle memory thing. Your muscles need time to learn what to do. So when you start out slow, you're giving them a chance to do that. If you start out too fast, your muscles are gonna say, bro, cool out, man. Give me a minute. Let me learn how to do this before you speed up. So that's the whole idea, man. Just kind of split your routine up into muscle groups. So just pick a day of the week and dedicate that to just repetitive movement. So the third tip that I'm gonna give you has to do with kit work, the stuff that you do on the drums. Basically, you wanna split it up into two categories, all right? There's two types of exercises that you're gonna generally do on the drums when you sit on them. First one is stationary work, and then the second one is movement work, okay? So stationary work, these are the types of exercises that you're gonna do to sort of work on things like coordination, independence, and timing. So that's when you pick, you know, a particular groove or something. Maybe you're trying to develop your bass drum with a samba groove or whatever. You're just gonna sit there and just play that while you're trying to develop that right foot, those doubles, that kind of thing. That's just an example, right? But stationary work is where you basically just kind of, you're sitting on 2 or 3 sources and you're just running it over and over and over again, kind of like a drill. And then your movement exercises involves getting you around the drums. So these are the types of exercises that you're gonna do to develop your flow and your fluidity and your dynamics and your touch and all of that kind of stuff. So when you're putting together your practice schedule for the week, you can keep that in mind. Like set aside a day where you can do some stationary work or some flow work. Or, you know, if you got time, you want to combine the two, you can do that. So the next tip that I want to give you has to do with pad work. So I mentioned off the top that you can work on a practice pad away from the kit for as long as you want, right, to sort of develop your hands. But the question is, what do you do? I'll show you what you can do. One of my favorite things to do in front of the TV, singles, doubles. Singles, doubles. Occasionally, you know, I'll throw some triplet flams in there or whatever, but that's it. When it comes to pad work, all right, the one thing that I want you to remember is to keep it stupid simple. There's no need to get fancy with practice pad exercises. So like I said off the top of the year, if you've seen that video, the only rudiments that you need to do in 2020, it involves a single, it involves a double, and it involves a combination of the two. That's it. That's all you need to know. And if you want to get a flam in there, you can get a flam in there. But 98% of what you do on the drums is going to involve singles and doubles. So there's no need to get crazy with the super fancy rudiments. You can if you want, but you know, when you're zoned out, you sit in front of the TV, you want to be on autopilot. You don't want to be thinking too hard, right? These are going to develop in the background while you're sitting there watching TV. So whatever grip you want to work on, singles, doubles, combination of the two, paradiddle, whatever you want. As far as how long you should do it, I can't tell you how long you should do it. The only thing I can tell you is the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. That's it, right? It's all about investment. But one thing I can promise you is that the more your hands are developed, the better all of this is gonna sound. And then the last tip I'm gonna give you for your practice routine, make sure that you include play days. Playing along the music, backing tracks or your favorite tunes on your phone is one of the most important ways that you're gonna practice on the kit, all right? Playing along the tracks is like a full body workout. Think of it that way. It's gonna work on everything at the same time, but most importantly, this is when you're gonna develop like all of the emotional stuff that you're gonna need to get your stuff to sound good. So your dynamics, your feel, you know, your posture, all of that stuff, you basically wanna put everything in action. So it doesn't matter what you sound like if you're just beginning. Doesn't make a difference. It's not gonna sound good if you're just starting out. Don't worry about that. Just get used to the whole idea of playing along with music and do it as often as you can. For 3 whole years, when I first started out playing, that's all I did. I would go downstairs, man, and I would put on Police albums, Level 42 albums, Big Country albums, Chick Corea, John Scofield, Mike Stern. Like, I would play through entire albums, one after the other, man. Next thing I know, 6 hours have gone by. Playing along to music is an essential step. It's an important part of your practice, man. So make sure you slip that in there. So hopefully that gives you some ideas as to how you can start to tailor your own little practice routine, or at least give you a little bit of direction. But regardless, man, regardless of what you do, don't forget to have fun, all right? The more fun you have at this, the faster you're gonna progress. And as far as what specific exercises you can do during that practice time, remember that big old Mandarin buffet that I mentioned off the top? This channel is that buffet. I got over 400 videos on this thing, man. If I don't have the answer to your question somewhere on here, then I'm not doing my job right. So, new viewers, new subscribers, welcome to the channel, man. This is what we do. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. Don't forget to save the date, Monday, September 7th. That is the big Puma drop. I'm gonna be live streaming right here from the drum room. And yeah, we're gonna hang out, gonna answer some questions, gonna talk drums, talk barbecue. It's gonna be fun. Stay tuned for that. I'll have the times and all that announced later. If you haven't already hit subscribe, go ahead and mash that before you bounce. Visit the merch shop if you want to pick something up. Drop a comment below. Stay safe. Share this video if you dig it. Like, subscribe. See you next video.